Hello, and as always, thank you for watching. First, let me be very clear, this trailer does not belong to Swift. No, it was not involved in an accident. We actually purchased the trailer from Swift, and last week we took some time to do some training. What I'm doing is showing these guys, Levi and Talon, uh, some of the rigging techniques. Of course, there's always different ways to do things. Of course, the unit's already on its wheels, but I'm going to simulate the trailer being on its side on the shoulder of the highway and having us do a vertical lift of the trailer and a mid-air inversion, then setting it back down onto its wheels. Um, One of the main reasons I'm doing this is to let Talon get some time on the controls. Um, he's worked a lot with me and he's worked a lot with the rotator, but he's not had hardly any time behind the controls, and I wanted to get him some experience on that on the lot so that he doesn't have to practice while out on the interstate. We don't like to do that. We like to try to be professional and know what we're doing when we get out there. That's why we practice. That's why we train. That's why we work with fire departments, police departments on different scenarios. This one right here, we've got two 26-foot, 12-inch wide recovery straps hooked on the passenger side, which would be the side that would be laying down. When we lay it over here in a minute, you'll see we've got those attached through the strap shackles and chains to the framework, and then used master links to double the straps back into our main boom winch lines. And on the driver's side, we've got the auxiliary winches hooked up to blue endless loop slings, round slings. Similar location, but typically those would just be used as catch straps. Since it's an empty trailer, we're not lifting that much anyway. This is basically just to show these guys how we're going to rig this in the event that we do have a rollover similar to this, and we can do a mid-air inversion. The same thing would work even if you were going to roll it over and not do a mid-air inversion. You could just lower it down using the auxiliary winches and the blue endless loop slings. You just have your boom in a different position and you wouldn't completely lift it off the ground. Alright, so here I'm sizing things up, making sure we get everything level. It's a very, very windy day. We have a storm front coming in. You can see the back of Talon and Levi's shirts blowing in the wind. You'll also notice once we get the trailer lifted that it does a lot of rocking and rolling. That is from the wind, which is blowing from west to east, and that's the way this trailer is facing north to south, so it's catching the wind from the west. I'm just trying to be extremely cautious with the trailer. Don't want to damage it, even though it's an older unit. We'll try to sell the trailer and get a little bit of money out of it. So even though we're going to train with it, we don't want to do any damage to it. Same thing applies when we're out on the road. We don't want to do any further damage to customers' equipment. Alright, there we go. We've got the thing lifted up in the air. Nice and pretty. Time to stop and take some pictures with the camera to put a few teasers on Facebook. You notice the wind blowing that empty box all around. Yes, we could have run the auxiliaries up to the second stage of the boom. We could have used spreader bars, could have done any number of things. This was just one technique that I wanted to show the guys, so please be polite in your comments. This is just one training exercise. That's all it is. We're just training these guys, showing them different techniques and getting them used to the controls on this 1150R. Right now I'm just lifting it and getting ready to simulate it being laying on its side, and then I'll turn the controls over to Talon so that he can get a feel for how everything reacts. I've also changed things up a bit. Of course, I always keep my mainline winches on a 2-to-1 unless I need them heavier. But I've kept my mainline winches on a 2-to-1, which makes them work a lot slower than my single line auxiliary winches on the boom. So that's something he also has to learn to work with. Alright, now we've got it simulated where it's almost flat. It's not entirely flat, but you get the general idea that it's supposed to be on its side, on the side of the road. Of course, for this 1150R, this is not a hefty lift at all. Handles it effortlessly. Right now I have turned the controls over to Talon and I'm letting him do the mid-air inversion, getting a good feel for it, letting him roll it around, giving him instructions on, you know, which controls to work, what all he should be looking for. And if you notice, we're sitting back or standing back to where we can see the truck, the cables, the trailer. You know, you get a good idea of the entire scene from where we're standing. You may not get that out on the side of the road, but on our back lot we do. Alright, so there he's done the mid-air inversion. Now I'm going to have him use the rolling carriage to roll the unit forwards and backwards so he gets a feel for that. And I'm also going to have him roll the carriage all the way backwards and bring it around the corner to the rear so that he can get a feel for that as well. As everybody knows, the rear corners are the most dangerous part of any lift. They're the weakest point. As I said before, though, this is not a heavy lift, so it's not a problem for this 1150R. Just wanting him again to get a feel for it and how everything reacts. Of course, in this wind gives him a good feel for it, as the wind was fighting us some on that. There he comes around the corner. nice and easy. And at this point, the storm front is getting pretty close, so we decide to hurry up, set the thing back on its wheels, and break everything down and stow it before we get slammed by this storm that's coming through. We just barely get all of our tackle put away before we start getting hit by the rain. But it was a successful training exercise. Someone told me a long time ago, never perform in public what you have not practiced in private. I thoroughly believe that. Thank you for watching. As always, if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to my channel. Feel free to like and share any of these videos on my channel. Thank you for watching.